Earlier, there used to be independent bookstores, and then came along Barnes and Noble and Borders. Until recently, it was nearly impossible for the average person to break into the publishing industry. Thanks to Amazon, now anyone can throw a book and hope to make some money. After all, it all started so innocently. But something more has happened than the death of gatekeepers here. Amazon itself has turned into the new publishing monopoly. When Amazon first came along, everyone thought everyone would have an equal footing in publishing for the first time. That didn't happen thanks to Amazon's algorithmic ranking and shelving, the effect of the long tail, and perhaps some unavoidable power dynamics. But what did happen is that the company gradually took full control over publishing and the authors themselves. It sets the pricing, the terms, everything. In this sense, it didn't exactly do something new and disruptive, but it simply took down an entire existing industry and gave it a new form using the internet. Also, not long ago, there used to be independent limousine companies and state-licensed taxis. But then came along Uber, positioning itself as an app connecting drivers and passengers. Looks so innocently innovative, right? Well, but then it should have limited itself to being a platform and payment system. But that's not what it did. Instead, disguising as a platform and not a taxi dispatcher, it escaped all sorts of regulations, leading to its explosive growth. Limousine service naturally assumes hefty registration charges, liabilities for the drivers and all. But Uber drivers could operate in a regulatory gray area, free from these influences, much to their own disadvantage eventually. On top of that, Uber could practice surge pricing during peak hours since it was under no obligation to the public good. Let's now talk about the privacy invasions of Facebook. It appears that the company's primary revenue model is display ads, but it turns out it often exceeds its revenue expectations of Wall Street. That's because these social media companies make a king's ransom by selling user activity information coming from likes, comments, posts, etc. to big data market research firms. In other words, Facebook's customers are also its product. Facebook also has complete control over the data provided by its users. It's like earlier people managed their stuff online in the form of web pages on different servers, but Facebook brought it all under one website in the form of a single central repository. Some of the recent hot startup acquisitions by Facebook have been made not on the basis of actual profits, but metrics so unrelated to money such as likes and views. And speaking of the privacy terms, Facebook surely doesn't read your messages, but then it doesn't need to, because what you send in those messages is less important than when and where you send it and related metadata, and not the main data. Google likewise is in a grave conundrum, left with hefty profits but little idea about how to innovate with it. It has turned itself into a holding company, the Alphabet, where its new job is to buy and sell technology companies. Again, the focus is not on humans but machines, in the sense that people are not getting new ways to create and exchange value on their own, but getting rid of the very ways they already have by becoming jobless. The self-driving car project funding seeks to get rid of the already disadvantaged Uber drivers. There might be nothing wrong with such growth, where machines keep replacing humans. After all, who even honestly wants to work a job? But at least these people deserve to be rewarded with some equity from the company they worked as the product for, and not just a pink slip. In another turn of events, Twitter faces its own set of problems. A potentially world-changing app that could help organize local activists to global citizen journalists again got tainted by a corporatist agenda that values growth above everything. Twitter could have managed to be extremely valuable as an app, but certainly without the need for its multi-billion-dollar valuation. Now that it has consumed so much venture capital, it is bound to grow, at least until its valuation exceeds the economy of many entire nations. Just maybe that's too much to ask of an app that sends 140 characters. Well, I'm personally not against any of these companies. They deserve to be the world's most valuable companies for what they have done to make the world a better place. Kindle is how I have managed to read 150 plus books in less than a year. Google is my one-stop source of knowledge for solving my problems. Uber once saved me from missing my flight, and I admire Facebook's highly targeted marketing features for businesses. And I know I would more than miss these services were these companies to go out of business. That part is all too cool for anyone. My purpose with this video was to expose the serious problems that are perpetuated by the way things are currently set up. The main problem is that real mobile cash is being converted into frozen stock value, and people everywhere are losing control to a few tech companies that, consistent with their obsolete corporate programming, are acting as extractive, wasteful, job-killing, and exploitative as possible. These problems result from the marriage of old corporate code with the new digital economy. The internet is capable of way more than anything we have already done. The true potential of the digital economy consists in its ability to make true point-to-point connections of all sorts. For example, the right product or service could connect soulmates or help match a very particular person with a very particular product. The 13th century's corporatist goal was growth above all. But what we need here in the 21st century now is sustainability and not just growth. We cannot afford to be like our ancestral colonialists who had all the territorial space in the world to conquer, or like the past capitalists who had one non-digital vertical after another to expand into, lest we should destroy the very system that feeds us. It's time we become aware that the economy can be programmed for humans and not just the other way around. And so sharing, collaboration, distributed networks and solutions, these are what humans are best at doing and the current digital economy is best at providing.